Here we go.
Mr. Kyle, how are you, man?
I'm okay. Thanks for meeting with me.
Yeah, well, sure thing. Anytime. But hey, before we get into anything, I just gotta say, what a great job you've been doing on essentially all the things you've been doing. Just great. Seriously, loving every second of it. Keep it up. You remind me a lot of myself when I was your age.
That was last year, but thanks.
Yeah, so what did you want to talk about?
I was kind of hoping we could talk about my career.
Yeah, nice. Okay, let's do it. I gotta say, your career essentially looks amazing. Personally, I think you just keep doing what you're doing, and you'll have a seriously bright future ahead.
That's nice of you to say, but I'd love it if...
No, sorry to cut you off. Hang on a sec. I've got a super important call that I gotta take right now, so this is gonna take just 2 seconds. So let me just mute myself, and I'll be right back. Yeah. Hey, buddy. No, I'm not busy. Nothing. So what time tonight? Oh, rad. Yeah. So did you call Ace or the Fitz yet? Oh, yes. Get it, bro. Okay. Tell them that if they skip out on this party, I will send every photo I have of them to Channel 9. You know I will, too. Yeah. So, right. Anyway, are we going to use your boat or mine? Nice. Okay. Man, I'm going to catch you later, so don't let me down. No. You are. Okay, out. There. Sorry, man. Super urgent. So, where were we?
I was saying that I wish we could get a little more specific about my career.
Yeah, okay. Well, what does that mean, essentially?
How do I know what I need to learn so that I can grow in my career?
All you gotta do is ask, man.
I'm asking you now.
Asking what, essentially?
What should I be working and improving upon so that I can grow?
Ah, right on. Okay. Well, what I think you should do is just do like I did. Just focus on your why. Like, why do you do what you do? It's all about purpose, dude.
Focus on my why. Okay. That is still kind of vague. Are there any skills I should be developing?
Oh, totally. Yeah, man. Yeah. Essentially, what you need to do is advance your technical skills and your non-technical skills. Just both of them. That's it.
But...
No, don't stress about it, man. You got this. Remember, I was once where you are, and look at me now, huh? Just believe in yourself, and you can achieve essentially anything.
Well, what exactly will happen if I do improve in these ways?
Well, you'll be riding a rocket ship all the way to the top, dude. All the way to the top.
Will my pay be increasing as I make these improvements?
Yeah, I mean, probably.
How long should I expect to work on these things until I get any kind of raise or title change?
Don't even worry. I'll let you know when you get there.
Okay, this isn't working.
What do you mean? I'm laying it all out here for you.
You're being extremely vague and giving me nothing that I can act on.
I don't understand. What more could you possibly want to know?
Everything! I want to know all the criterion which will be the basis for evaluating my performance, which new skills I need to develop, how I need to improve, what exactly will happen if I do make those improvements, what new job titles I might earn, how my pay will change as I progress, and how far I can realistically go with this company.
Whoa, man, that's a lot. Call me old school, but I just figured we'd talk it out now and then, and I'll decide when you deserve a promotion.
That's just not gonna work for me. Haven't you ever heard of a career progression framework?
A what?
Let me explain.
Oh yeah. Are you listening? Yeah, you better be. Here we go.
Now listen up, here is what we'll do. I'ma take a second to educate you. Progression frameworks are inherently simple. They're a guide for employees to learn what is essential in order to earn better titles and pay. They feature clear language which explains the way every person does X, which leads to Y. Skills to learn and requirements to satisfy. And if you do comply, we won't deny. Letting us spread those wings and fly so high. The bottom to the top of this organization. Progression frameworks are about motivation. Fundamentally, this isn't that hard. I'm talking Charmander to Charizard. What I wanna know is how to get from here to there. Should I learn to code or maybe change my hair? Spell it out for me. How to get from A to Z. Right now I don't know what to do to get from A to B. I need to see D, E, F, and G. I clearly laid path with a guarantee that if I follow, I'll increase my salary. and eventually become all that I want to be. What's the difference between you and me? I just work here. I didn't start this company. I'm exchanging time and skills for cash money. I work aggressively, but I've got no equity. I'm the bottom, you're the top of this hierarchy. Checking in, are you still listening to me? I'm just your typical, technical, employable, reliable, millennial, professional. My future here is optional. I'm full of doubt, and time is running out. I fear I won't amount to anything without a little guidance and transparency. No more silence and disparity. I'm dying for some clarity. You got a plan, so share with me, cause teamwork makes the dream work. You need a framework to make the team work. Harder at improving all the skills that we possess. You got yourself in a mess. At what I do, I'm the best. But right now, I'm just lacking an incentive to progress. That's right. Your informal approach is destined to fail, cause it's a matter of time till I decide to bail. All this time you've had a plan, but for some reason don't share it. Over here I grin and bear it while you're dangling a carrot. You see, without a documented path to walk on, any motivation to improve myself is gone. Maybe if I elaborate on the value and the benefits consistently derived therein, I'll convince you it's worthwhile allowing me to elevate my station. I'll stick around longer. Does that give you motivation? Translation, what's in it for you if you go through all that it takes to give your people a clear path for ascension? It inevitably leads to high employee retention. Give me a good reason to learn a new skill, and I will, and again I will, and I'll be here till I reach the top, and it won't stop till we both drop. If you don't stop sharing your crop, complicate pop while we talk shop. Got my laptop going, now stop doing my job. Hold up.
Okay. Coming back in.
Am I going too fast? Is my message clear? How about I slow things down and shout it in your ear? I want to go farther in my career, but unless you show me how, I won't expect to do it here. Check yourself, man. Who I really work for. It isn't you or someday your competitor. It's me, dummy. I'm doing this for myself. My family is the reason I'm accumulating wealth. I got loyalty inside my DNA. Remember that my kids will come before you every day.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, man, I get it. Essentially, you're looking for me to lay out a clear path so that you can visualize your potential future and learn exactly what you need to do to get from here to there, right?
Yes. Yes, that is essentially what I'm looking for.
All right, yeah. Okay, well, let's make it happen, bud. But hey, I got a thing to get to. But man, this has been great. Why don't you just get on the horn with Chris from HR and she'll get you working on, everything we just talked about. Peace.
Hello, WPMRR Virtual Summit attendee. My name is Kyle, and I'm here to guide you through the basics of progression frameworks and also to provide you some encouragement as you consider the career pathing needs of your growing team. Here's what we're going to be covering today. First, I'll briefly describe who this topic is for. After that, I'll talk a bit about how offering employees career paths will affect the profitability of your business. Then, we'll dive into career progression frameworks, starting with an explanation of what they are, followed by the reasons you need one at your company, and capped off with a guide to creating your first framework for growth. While the topic of career progression is broadly applicable to all business owners and anyone with a career, this particular session is somewhat narrowly focused. On the small scale, if you are a freelancer or a solopreneur with no employees now or in the foreseeable future, this talk is going to be moderately interesting at best. On the larger scale, if you are an established, mature company with 50 or 100 employees and already using some kind of framework, you might not learn a lot today that you don't already know. This is really a 101 level session after all. The ideal audience for this session is a business owner or people ops professional with a small but growing team. I do want to emphasize one point as we get started. Career progression matters for all companies, regardless of size. This is not a topic which only becomes relevant once you reach a certain scale. A career progression framework contributes to the success of any business in 3 crucial areas: employee recruitment, employee growth, and employee retention. Clear career path descriptions are very attractive to prospective hires. In this highly competitive job market, you need to do everything you can to sell your company to those seeking new employment. If you want a chance to bring top talent into your team, it is in your best interest to show them what the future can hold should they decide to join. Progression frameworks provide employees with a very powerful incentive to improve. When your employees get better at their jobs, you win. If an employee gets more efficient and their capacity goes up, you can handle more clients. If an employee learns a new skill, you can offer more value to those customers. If an employee is able to take on more responsibility, that frees you up to work on other parts of your business. The more you encourage your current staff to level up, the better off your business will be. There aren't many things business owners deal with which are more costly, derailing, and disheartening than employee turnover. This is especially true for small teams. The reality is that your odds of growing and achieving consistent profitability are extremely remote if you're cycling people in and out. You have to convince your staff to stick around, and providing them with a clear path forward is proven to be among the most effective methods for retaining talent. Have you ever had to drive somewhere that you've never been while relying on a bad navigator? I have. And it sucks. You're cruising along, waiting for instructions that don't come until you ask. At every intersection, you're doing that side glance thing, and waiting for your guide to tell you which way to go. You have no idea how far you have to go, or even the general direction. You're at the mercy of your passenger, who seems to not give a crap enough to pay attention. Sometimes you even miss turns and your navigator has to do the old, wait, where are we? Oh, we needed to turn way back there thing. This is exactly what it is like to be an employee at a company with no career paths. You do your work day in and day out, wondering what the future might hold. Will you ever get a raise? Will you ever get a promotion? Are you making progress? Is anyone even noticing what you do? A career progression framework answers those questions. It gives employees clarity about their future and an incentive to improve. For those of you still struggling to wrap your head around this, I'll give you an example of one of the most well-known progression frameworks in history. To do that, though, we're going to need to go way, way back in time to the 90s! We all learned a lot about progression frameworks together through Pokemon. In much the same way that we do, Pokemon earn upgrades as they gain experience and accomplish specific goals. As kids, we were able to understand the potential that each new Pokemon had, the actions we needed to take to evolve those Pokemon, and what those Pokemon could do once they evolved. Squirtle can evolve into Wartortle at level 16, and then into Blastoise at level 36. There is a very clear guide for moving up those levels, and a strong incentive to do so. Every company's framework is unique. Some are as simple as a few sentences explaining the criterion for earning level upgrades or title changes. Others are extremely detailed with lengthy descriptions for the expectations and outcomes for numerous disciplines over a wide array of dimensions. All CPFs are ever evolving as the business changes. Let's look at a few examples. Here's one from Wise. Wise has a very impressive interface which incorporates all the factored dimensions, detailed descriptions for those, micro-progression levels, and even compensation ranges. Now, how about this one from Buffer? Buffer has a very easy to understand framework laid out in a table with columns for levels and rows for dimensions. BuzzFeed's framework is wonderfully simple. Just a page of text with headings for the various job titles and subheadings for dimensions with concise descriptions. Circle CI uses a spreadsheet. Spreadsheets are commonly used for CPFs, and this one from Circle CI is a classic example. Again, columns for levels and rows for dimensions and subdimensions. Fairwill used Google Slides for their framework. Each slide is a different job with blocks for dimensions and unordered lists for descriptions. At Sandhills Development, we put together a framework which has been working pretty well so far. It's primarily a page of text with written descriptions of the criteria for each level. Levels function the same for all roles, so these descriptions are not specific to any particular job at the company. Implementing a career progression framework is the single best action you can take to ensure your employees choose to stay with you and work within your system for furthering their careers instead of seeking opportunities elsewhere. You must always remember these facts about employees. Working for you is not the summit of their career. It is only a chapter. If you do it right, you could be together for multiple chapters. They are not mind readers. You have a vision and can imagine what the future for the company might hold, but the employees don't see that. In most cases, unless you show them otherwise, employees will assume that moving up in their career means getting a new job somewhere else. They are not going to tell you everything going on in their life and in their head. You must remember that they are experiencing things you don't see, such as having a bad workday and questioning whether they still want to do this, getting contacted by recruiters with new opportunities, watching their friends and former classmates post online about their exciting career advancements, getting pinged by acquaintances who want to steal them away, dreaming about finally starting that business of their own that they've always wanted to, tinkering on a side project, experiencing changes in their lives which affect their interest in and availability for work commitments, coming up with reasons they need more money, learning about how much more people in other roles, disciplines, and companies make, learning more about themselves and what they actually want, life and career-wise. In addition to retaining people, CPFs are a powerful motivator to improve. Employees who see and understand what exactly will happen when they make positive changes are far more likely to do so. If I know that getting to the point where I can handle a project on my own without assistance or learning React or consistently meeting my deadlines will result in a pay increase, then I'm absolutely going to make that happen. Finally, frameworks help provide an objective set of measurements for performance. They are one of the most effective weapons against bias. If you're going to continue shooting from the hip and making judgment calls based on only your own opinion, then you're going to have serious problems. You are only human, and that's okay. Accept the fact that the only way to have any semblance of fairness is to use a formalized, transparent system, clearly outlining your expectations and commitments. The only critical elements of a basic CPF are clear description of an outcome and detailed requirements to achieve that outcome. An ideal framework will thoroughly address all aspects of every possible job's potential paths. This visual shown here from Mercer helps clarify the key considerations of a mature CPF, but we don't need all that right now. We are just getting started after all, so let's make things simple. I'll begin by demonstrating how simple this can possibly be. I'll show you right here the most basic career progression framework that I could imagine. This actually meets the criteria, and it's technically a very primitive progression framework. It includes an outcome, namely a change to a more prestigious job title, and it clearly states the requirements in order to achieve that outcome. Is this a good framework? Not really. No. It only covers a single job and goes no further than the one change. It also uses time as the only criteria, which does not exactly motivate employees to become better at their jobs. Still, it is actually better than nothing because it gives employees answers. so they're not left wondering when they'll get to earn senior status and what they have to do. The argument I'm making here is that a stupid simple, minimally useful, overly broad framework is actually better than no framework at all. I'm also asserting that if you follow my logic here and want to evolve your company from framework free to framework Anyway, if you want to add a CPF to your business, you could get it done before I finish this presentation. That's really the strategy that I recommend. Start simple. Try to make something that is incredibly basic and answers only a couple obvious questions your employees may have. That can be your starting point, and you can gradually increase its sophistication as you learn and as your team grows. You do not need to answer every conceivable question in version 1. Answering even a single question is still answering a question. With time, you'll be able to make your framework provide more clarity, more detailed instructions, more incentives, and address more situations while being as fair as possible. Now, let's break down how you can create your own framework. Frameworks can take many forms. They can incorporate visuals or text or both. I've seen frameworks built using Trello, Google Docs, Markdown files on GitHub, spreadsheets, WordPress, Gatsby, and just about anything else you can use to post text and graphics on the web. Don't overthink this. Just start typing into whatever system you're comfortable with. The first concern is outlining exactly what employees can achieve. This is typically going to be either job title changes or escalations in a leveling system of your own design. Levels are internal designations, commonly referred to as micro progressions. They allow for more incremental steps forward in between title changes. The next step is to explain what is required of every employee in order to earn each upgrade. If this were Game of Thrones, the requirements would be straightforward. To earn your next upgrade, you simply ally yourself with someone higher up than you and then stab them in the back. But this isn't Westeros. A little more detail might be necessary. You can feel free to type up a paragraph explaining what you expect of someone at each level. Or you could create a table illustrating the various factors which are considered. It's helpful and common practice to break expectations down into a handful of key dimensions. Those dimensions represent the different aspects of a job or the lenses through which performance will be evaluated. Some popular dimensions include communication, capacity, knowledge, skills, collaboration, complexity, scope, leadership, quality, consistency, spicy food tolerance, and problem solving. Lastly, get this in front of your team and start using it. Career progression frameworks will get better the more you put them to use. I recommend meeting with every employee on a routine basis to have a chat about their progress towards the next upgrade. There you have it, folks. A very basic guide to creating your first career progression framework. To learn more, I recommend going to progression.fyi, where you will see loads of examples and useful guides. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of the WPMRR Virtual Summit.